In case you didn't know, now you know. There are just 8 days until Election Day, and the presidential candidates are making their final bids to voters. Both Vice President Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are stumping in swing states as the race for the White House comes down to the wire. Harris heads back to Michigan while Trump makes another stop in Georgia today. His Georgia visit tonight follows a controversial New York rally last night. Listen.
We're going to fire Kamala, and we are going to save America. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices, raise your wages, and bring thousands and thousands of factories back to America.
CBS News political director Fin Gómez joins us now to talk about this. Fin, let's begin with this argument, this closing argument for Donald Trump. And I love all the headlines that I'm reading this morning. They all sort of sound like what that soundbite we just played, which is Trump talking about a specific policy proposal. But really, it's almost like saying, hey, people who rode the Titanic decided to go for a swim. In other words, the message that seemed to be resonating with people and the message that we heard from some of those speakers in front of that crowd at Madison Square Garden, we heard racism, we heard misogyny, we heard dangerous rhetoric that the Republicans have accused Democrats of using. Is that the final pitch that Donald Trump is making?
Yeah, Vlad, good morning. Yeah, I was at that rally last night in Madison Square Garden, and it was, it was jam-packed. It was full of people, thousands of people. There was thousands outside. But inside, the message was clear. It was a lot of inflammatory rhetoric, like you said, racist jokes made by comedians and others. The campaign is telling us that their last push before Election Day, we're 8 days out from Election Day, Vlad, is going to be focused on immigration. As we know, he's called for mass deportations. Last night, Vlad, he said that it was more important than inflation. It was a bigger issue. He talked about his austere and hardline policies that he would implement, again, focused on mass deportation. It has showed, if you look at the polling data, this is a top issue for many voters in this cycle. But it was muddled also by just this array of attention to some of these these racist comments that were made during the rally. And I think that if you're trying to appeal and if you're trying to expand your target electorate to voters of color, there could be some backlash there. We did see some voters of color in the crowd last night, and so we would still want to see in this battle of just this tight race, like how that will be impacted, how that will impact and how that will be felt in some of these communities of color in these battleground states, Vlad.
Let's play a little bit of what we heard last night from those folks who spoke on behalf of the former president. Let's play that.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
And Fin, that, as you know, wasn't just the only thing that those supporters heard. They heard comments from that comedian, black people carving watermelons. And you know this better than I do, Fin. Puerto Ricans, once they establish residency in any of the 50 states in this country, they are able to vote, as you know. And those votes can swing an election. How is the former president's campaign reacting to what we heard yesterday? I also should note that folks like Bad Bunny, who has some 20 million, maybe more, followers on his social media accounts, Ricky Martin, they are putting out comments to their followers. I think Ricky Martin's was, "This is how they think of us." So how is the Trump campaign responding to the reaction, and what is the vice president's campaign saying about what was heard last night?
Right, this comedian, Tony Hinchcliffe, came out a couple of hours before Trump spoke and before he even arrived, but it almost overshadowed and upstaged the former president's remarks because of his racist comments and jokes that came out. And like the campaign is saying that they did not see the jokes ahead of time, that his comments do not align with what the former president believes. Look, specifically, and when you have Bad Bunny weighing in and essentially endorsing Vice President Harris, like Bad Bunny is huge. He's not just huge with Latino voters. This reggaeton megastar is huge across across the globe, right? I mean, he's got a massive following, and he has so far refrained from entering politics by doing this. And looking at Pennsylvania, let's look at Pennsylvania, Vlad. There are about 600,000 eligible Latino voters in the battleground state of Pennsylvania. As we've seen, there have been like these polling numbers that show that it is just like a dead heat there. So when I spoke to the Harris campaign last night, they told me that this could be an advantage, that it would help them appeal to this crucial voting bloc, Vlad. And again, when you need a couple thousand votes here, a couple thousand votes there, if Latinos come out and in response to that and support Harris, it could make the difference in this state and in the election, Vlad.
Yeah, indeed. And it's a good point about Bad Bunny, Finn. Somebody told me yesterday, look, I have friends who don't speak Spanish. In other words, they are not Latino, and they love Bad Bunny's music, and they love him. So you're right. He didn't specifically address it. He reposted a post from Kamala Harris's campaign, and that is going to resonate for sure. Fin Gómez for us this morning from our bureau in D.C. Finny, as always, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Thanks, Vlad.